The Wendy Williams Show. Now, here's Wendy.
Thank you for watching. Say hello to my co-host in the studio audience. Nice. I'm doing okay. Let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. And so, the new Whitney Houston documentary, you've heard about that, right? There's a new documentary about Whitney Houston. It was approved by the family. It's going to be in theaters as of today. Yep. So it's called Whitney, and they say it promises a lot of never-before-seen footage of Whitney and interviews with the family and some really interesting revelations from the family. Because at first I wasn't sure. I'm like, okay, the family's involved, so this is gonna be like sunshine and lollipops, you know, for your money. But here's the trailer, and then we'll continue talking.
Nobody could touch Whitney as far as singing. He said, Mom, she taught Whitney everything she knew about how to use that voice.
You had 3 places to sing from. Heart, mind, guts. She learned them all. She was simple. She became Whitney Houston when it was time for her to get on stage.
People think it's so damn easy, and it's not.
It's a documentary, like I was saying, and it's in theaters. I just wish that we could all watch it at home, you know what I mean? All right, Pat Houston, her sister-in-law, Pat, she's the one who's producing the movie. Now, Pat says that one of the hard things about producing this movie was that she had to tell Sissy, Whitney's mother, about Whitney and her brother allegedly being sexually abused. Whitney's was by the hands of her cousin, Dee Dee Warwick. Yeah, Dion's sister. And then the same Dee Dee allegedly also abused her brother. And this all happened for Whitney when she was ages 7 to 9. But Whitney, Sissy was busy touring, and I don't know where the father, John Houston, was, but I guess they were left with minions, and then this woman, Dee Dee, who's since passed away. So, it was also suggested that, you know, in the documentary that this abuse could have led to Whitney's drug problem. Well, gee, you think it could have had something to do with it? Gee, you think? I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna wait for this one to come on TV. I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, I think the best Whitney footage that I've ever seen, other than being Bobby Brown. Honey, all right, all right. They had a series, and the two of them were in the series, and it was just, yeah, you could see Whitney was just a fun girl who turned into Whitney Houston once she gets on stage, but behind the scenes, Bobby. But I thought that Yaya DaCosta and those other people, they did a really good job when Whitney's movie was on Lifetime like a couple of years ago. This is when they showed Yaya as Whitney in the bathroom, slumped over the sink, sniffing coke, and Bobby coming in and saying, like, what are you doing? And then Whitney's saying, kind of like, what do you mean, what am I doing? Here, have some. And Bobby's like, no. He eventually got sucked into it. So a lot of people think it was Bobby who turned Whitney on, when in actuality, according to the Lifetime movie, which was juicy, juicy, juicy. I enjoyed that Lifetime movie. Anyway, so clap if you're going to see this movie in the theaters. All right. Enjoy. Some people you just can't get enough of, you know, like Whitney Houston, every single thing that happens, or the Kennedys, or, you know, something like that. So Lindsay Lohan might be coming back to reality TV. Well, wait, no, not in the bad way. In a good way. Listen, well, she's gonna do a reality show, allegedly, she's working on it, centered around the beach clubs that she owns in Greece and Dubai, and the staff who runs them. Kind of like Vanderpump Rules, where Lindsay's the boss, and she comes in, and we know Lindsay, so we know she'll have a bit of, you know, humor, and, you know, a slight bit of mess, not bad mess, but, you know, a little mess. And then all the people who work for her. So she's also opening a place called, oh, this is where it's supposed to center around, the opening of this club. My mouth is so watery. Sorry. It's supposed to center around Lohan Beach Club, which is in Mykonos, Greece. I think this would be fantastic. All the people jumping in pools and stuff, the staff not doing the right thing, Lindsay coming in. I like this idea for her. I like it, like a smart Lindsay. And then, you know what? This whole thing, this entrepreneurial thing might take off to where she doesn't want to act anymore. Who feels like memorizing scripts? That's a lot of work. I also heard she's building a Lindsay Island. Well, you know, she's got some very wealthy friends, you know, so, and she's a very lovely girl. So people are acting like people should maybe want to see her do this. As far as acting, maybe the acting people will offer her more roles. I don't know. But I like this idea, though. Yeah. She should open a club on Long Island, New York, where she's from, you know? And then centered around the shenanigans of people that we can actually see if we're in the Macy's or something like that. Good luck, Lindsay. Sean Kingston's mother has jumped all in Sean Kingston's mess. Which kind of like, that's what moms are supposed to do. But at a certain point, it's supposed to be in the background, not in the front round. Like your mom's not supposed to be 55 talking about, because I'm an OG. Now you come see me. You don't need to see my son. Okay, earlier this week, there's this jeweler, and he called Sean out for allegedly not paying him for a $100,000 chain. That's the jeweler. The jeweler wrote, "Somebody tell this fat jelly roll eating bitch I'm looking for him. I'm not calling the cops or taking you to court. I'm going to the streets." Now see, them's fighting words, Diamond, or whatever your name is. You don't want to take it to the streets, because that's when things get all out of sorts. And now Sean Kingston's mom, who's 55, Mama Kingston, well, she jumped in the mix. I haven't heard from Sean Kingston in so long, I forgot he even existed. You know, it's really hard, too, because he's only 28 years old. But we were trying in our Hot Topics Bureau meeting to think, what's the last thing that Sean Kingston has done? And we all said, nothing that we know of. Like, that's gotta suck when your career was on such a high, and now you're back living with your two siblings in your mom's house, and your mom's fighting your battles. Damn it, man. Anyway, this is what she says. "It seems like all bleep, ass, N-words do nowadays is run to social media with a bunch of lies. Even when they have your address, N-word pull up. Cause you know the deal. I'm a G." you know, I can appreciate it. She followed it up with, "You looking for Sean? Come awaits." Wait, come. "We waits for your arrival." No, you don't. I don't want my block hot. Sean, now what have you really done? Because not for nothing, he has this reputation for borrowing a lot of jewelry and maybe not paying the tab, keeping the, allegedly. So you can see where the jeweler probably has some sort of point. I bet you the jeweler was trying to DM him, trying to call him, trying to ask for the chain back or the $100,000, and Sean's still walking around Miami trying to live out the days when, you know, he was on the charts. You know, so the best way people do that to fool you, to make them think that they're still out there, is you plop on a bunch of jewelry, you know, you rent a fancy car, and you drive around. This is horrible. They say Sean lives with his mother because he lost all of his money. Well, you know, there's got to be something that you can negotiate with this jeweler, or just give him back the jewelry totaling the $100,000, you know, Sean, and get back in the studio and make some music. You're only 28. Poor thing. Remember when he was in that jet ski accident? Ugh, yeah. He almost didn't make it out of that one. Anyway, so Emma Stone has been spending a lot of time recently with Jennifer Aniston's ex-husband, Justin Theroux. See, I think he's very handsome. Yeah, I think he's handsome with the hair, although I prefer him with no hair. Oh. Darling. So, okay, so he's moved on from Jennifer Aniston, and now he's with, allegedly, this Emma Stone. Her best friend is Jennifer Lawrence, the actress, and Jennifer Lawrence does not approve. Well, here's what happened. Jennifer Lawrence hosted a civilized dinner party. And this is the first time that Jennifer Lawrence is actually, it's kind of like the coming out party for her friend Emma Stone and this Justin Theroux. So, apparently, allegedly, Jennifer Lawrence thought that this guy was a real jerk, real full of himself, only talked about himself the whole night. And when he wasn't talking about himself, he talked like snobby things about acting, like, ugh, acting, even though he's an actor. And so Jennifer Lawrence, best friend of Emma Stone, apparently wasn't feeling his conversation and told her after dinner that she should drop him. Oh, what do you think about that? I mean, you know? Sometimes when your friend is in a relationship and it's only been for a couple of weeks, because I have no idea how long these two have been dating. It was only a couple of weeks ago they had him mixed up with a lady of color. I don't know whether she was black or what. She had brown skin, though. She didn't look white. And they were photographing them together. So Emma Stone can't have been with this guy for too long. So they're not all in love or anything like that. And if your best friend sees something, she should say something. You know, like, he's a jerk. You didn't even notice through conversation. He's all into himself. You say it early before your friend falls in love. Then you stay out of it. Then you stay out of it, you know? I wouldn't tell friends about her man or anything like that. You know, once the love Jones sets in, then nope, then you're on your own. However, my response, I've got a classic response that I use with an attitude and a, If you're in the bathroom, can you get out of the bathroom? Sometimes this show needs to be watched and listened to at the same time. And look, I'm about to give you the affectation in my face as well. That's all I want you to say. All right, so my response is like, you know, oh my God, you know, so Wendy, what did you think about him? I'd be like, oh. He's, if you like him, fine. But you have to dip your eyes, you know? And roll the back of your throat. You know? And then let the friend ask you, what do you mean? Why are you asking like that? Well, no reason. right? Just make her, until she finally asks you and say, look, he talked about himself all night. He didn't pull the chair out for you. He talked bad about acting. It's what we all do to make a living in here. He might not like acting. I like acting. You like acting too, Emma. How could you be with this guy? Nope, on to the next one, Emma. So, the Long Island median's ex-husband is blaming the reality show on their divorce. This is like the saddest divorce of the year to me. Larry and Teresa are like two peas in a pod. He supports her. He's still very good looking. He's retired. And they've been married for 28 years. And they have 2 children, but they're adults. So in other words, this is Teresa and Larry's time. And Larry says that he had no idea when they got into reality TV 7 years ago what it was all about and what was going to become of their family. But then it became more popular, you know, because they're not kids. So it's not like they were going to be, you know, down at the Jersey Shore and, you know, throwing shoes across the room and things like that. So Larry didn't know. I'm sure Teresa didn't either. But apparently Teresa's like, she popular. Her shooting schedule, he's saying, has left them little time for their marriage. Well, the question I was asked in my Hot Topics meeting, and we went around the table with it, should Teresa have ended the marriage or ended her show to work on her marriage? You say yes? Let me tell you something. This show is the bread and butter of the family. Larry, I love you and appreciate you. You know I was born with this gift and I had no idea what this would be. Now, why don't you pack a suitcase and come along with me, as opposed to staying in Long Island? You know? And then you make a pact with Larry and you say, Teresa, you say, all right, look, if we're blessed enough to have this show for another 2 years, and that's all it's going to be. We'll sock away money, we'll open, you know, a hair salon and a nail salon and you know, or a string of them or something like that and work on our relationship. This is very sad. Although Larry has already fled the coop from New York, he's out in LA with a new girlfriend. So somebody, a mean person in my morning meeting said he was probably looking for an out anyway. Don't say that. Don't say that. And you know what? I don't want to see a dating show with Teresa. I don't want to see Teresa and Larry try to fix their marriage. You know, she's on TV for a very specific thing and she can't lose her credibility as the medium. And then you have to understand, if you marry somebody that has a tick like that where they know stuff, it's more than just filming and being a wife. Like, she's got to sleep to rest her electrodes. You know. So she knows stuff. Oh, Larry. Oh, Teresa. Anyway, good luck. Why are my stories going so fast that I can't even talk about Rachel Dolezal? I'm going to talk about her. Scroll it back up and give me my facts. Scrolling down to Meghan Markle's father. No, because I like this Rachel story. Remember that white woman who tried to pass for black? Yeah. And remember, she was the president of the Spokane, Washington NAACP? And nobody knew that she was white? There she go. First of all, she might be going to prison for 15 years. Second of all, she doesn't go by the name Rachel anymore. She's got an African name. And her name is Nukachi Dilalo. Nukachi. It means gift from God. Well, last year, Nukachi wrote in her book that she was on welfare because she couldn't earn any money. She said she was earning less than $500 a month, so she had to get in the system. Then an investigator who apparently looked in her book and things like that said, that can't be right. Looked things up and claimed that, caught her. She's alleged, according to the investigation results, she made $83,000 in over 2 years. Plus, she braids hair on her porch. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yo. Look, she claims the only jobs that she's been offered since the NAACP are reality TV and porn. I'll be honest with you, I don't believe either. You know, people forgot all about NAACP, so I don't believe she's been ordered porn. Now, this would be a good reality TV show, and you could just take the name and be called Passing. People who try to pass for something that they're not. Passing. You know? Like you're a doctor, you've never even been out of your, you know, and you've never even been to college, much less medical school. You're a doctor, you're passing. You know what I mean? Your name was Seth Greenberg, but you always wanted to have an Asian, background. So you're affecting being Asian. Then it would star NAACP. Look, honey, she's been charged because she beat the system. So she's been charged with theft, perjury, and welfare fraud. NAACP goes to trial on September 10th. So we'll see what happens with that. We have more great fun show for you, everybody. Star of 13 Reasons Why Derek Hoops is here. But up next, Matt Roush is gonna break down the summer's hottest TV shows. So grab a snack and come on back.